Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We got a special guest in the studio. This is our first guest we've had since the pandemic started, so we're excited about it. We're going to keep social distance, but we're going to talk about all that later. But right now, let's take care of our weather. We're looking at another hot day. This has been a hot August already. It's going to get it way up in the 90s. The water temperature, what's interesting, we're only getting it from the pier lately. That's what NOAA's sending us. The one out there in front of the pass must be decommissioned right now, but the pier water temperature is 88 degrees. That is warm. That's about as warm we're going to see it. Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. Both rivers are in good shape. The Apalachicola Bluntstown right at a 4.1, and the Choctawhatchee at Caryville 2.7. That's below 3 foot, and that's in great shape. I know our buddies over at Choctawhatchee are planning a good brim fishing this weekend. Our high tide is going to be 11:21. It's coming in right now. Be coming in about 11 o'clock. It's a good strong tide. Going out all afternoon. It's going to be low tonight at 8:55. So that takes care of the tide. And looking at a wind direction, it's coming out of west-southwest, still pretty decent at 10. That breeze is really helping a lot, especially in the afternoon, to keep things cool. So west-southwest at about 10. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back with our special guest. Welcome back, and look who our first guest is, Mayor Greg Broadnicki. Welcome, Greg.
Good morning.
Hey, I didn't shake hands with Greg because why?
Oh, because of the COVID.
He's already had the COVID.
Yeah.
And so it's good that he got over it well. And always tell us about it, because we want people. We're going to talk about a lot of fishing, I promise you. But let's go and talk about this COVID first, because you got quarantine and all.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a Friday, late Friday evening, and I was out cleaning out my garden. You know, stuff had gotten overgrown and stuff, so I was pulling stuff out of the garden, and there was a lot of pollen and stuff that was on some of the tomato plants and stuff that I was, clearing that out and stuffing it in the wheelbarrow. And so I had that wheelbarrow, I mean, really packed. I kept pushing the stuff down, and later on that evening, my nose was kind of flaring up a little bit, and I've had sinus infections before, obviously, and so I thought, uh-oh, I ingested some of that pollen. So the next day I was feeling a little puny, and of course my wife is ill right now, and she can't be exposed to anybody with COVID. So I was just leery about, well, maybe I got a sinus infection. So we had in the cupboard, I had some Augmentin, which I take when I have a sinus infection. I had some left over from the last time that I'd had one. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I hope this isn't COVID, but if it is, maybe. And we had a bottle of hydroxychloroquine, because my wife takes that for leg cramps.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'm going to take that and some other things. I took vitamins and stuff and some zinc. So I just started Saturday evening taking it, just in case. Sunday, felt okay, not, good enough to go to church that morning. That evening, was feeling a little better. Kept taking the stuff. Monday morning, took it, went and tested positive. Said, oh boy, okay, so tested positive, kept taking the stuff, and I'm telling you, Tuesday morning, I felt perfect.
Really?
But because I tested Monday, I was quarantined. So if I'm quarantined, I can't go to work, can't get around people, got to stay away from my wife, got to stay away from everybody. But the only person or things that I didn't have to stay away from was the fish. So I started, going fishing.
We were following this. Bill was calling me and telling me what was going on, and we got a kick out of it, because he went on some COVID fishing trips, and we got some great footage, but and we're going to show that in a few minutes and all. But what tickled me was that you were able to get out there and there was nobody around.
Nope. Didn't see anybody. Nobody was fishing. It was kind of like I had the whole bay to myself. And I went on to Thursday when I got the second report back when they sent off my stuff saying, yes, you were positive. So I tested positive on Monday, positive on Thursday. But Thursday afternoon, I tested again and tested negative. So, okay, can I go back to work? No, you got to test negative again, so you need to wait till Monday. So I tested again the following Monday and tested negative. So for me, it was a non-event. There's been a lot of people sick.
Yes.
I'm telling people wear a mask. We're not mandating masks. We're telling people we want them to wear a mask anytime they're around. If it can lessen the chance and help people, do it. You know, I don't care if you don't think it's fashionable, put it on.
Yes.
But I was very fortunate. I had lost my taste and smell for a week. Well, maybe 8 or 10 days. But as far as fever, none. Stomach, none. Nothing. Now, it could have been a combination of the things I was taking, because I was taking that regimen of the things that you've seen on TV where some doctors are saying that's the absolute best you can do, you need to do it, and other people say, well, you can't do it. Well, I did it, and I, you know, I came out on the good side.
Yeah, and that's one thing. We get so much information on both sides. You can't, you know, a regular guy can't figure it out. And that's why I like to talk to eyewitnesses who's been through it, someone like you. And as a mayor and all, you know, you were away from the city and everything like that, but you were doing good. I kept up with you on a regular basis, and you were feeling good. Your wife's doing good, and everything turned out well. So I know. How long did you take that medicine? Was it
As soon as I tested, I tested positive on Monday, was taking the medicine Saturday night all the way through Thursday. Tuesday morning, I had a commission meeting from my basement. Okay. I went ahead and was part of the meeting, and I was still taking the medicine, and I took it until Thursday. Okay. When I tested negative on Thursday, I said, well, why should I keep taking it? Because I'm negative. And I had felt great for 3 days in a row already, but according to the protocol, CDC rules and all that, you need to wait and test again negative. So I did.
Well, great. And so you you get all your fishing stuff together, and you got your boat all set up. You got it gassed up. You got it all ready. So what was your game plan as you started thinking about you're gonna have like a week or so to fish? What were you thinking about? Where you places and how you wanted, what time and tides and all that? What was your game plan?
Watching the tides, of course, and begging for good weather, begging for only a little bit of wind. Like to have, because of certain places that I fish, I'd like to have the wind with the sun at my back and the wind at my back early in the morning. So, because I do nothing, Bill and I do nothing but throw lures, and with the sun at your back, it's better for the fish to see the lures, better for me not to get fried in the face, and you can really stand the heat when you got a little bit of breeze, and you're catching fish. And so it was, phenomenal. Okay. I had so many blow-ups on my topwater lures during those days that when you get to the point when you're fishing, and I'm not trying to brag, but when you get to the point when you're fishing and you just laugh because he missed it, knowing you're going to get another strike. So it was that good. So I was blessed during that time of being sick.
Well, that's not bragging. It's like Dizzy Dean.
It was fun.
I never will get a story about reading a book as a young person about Dizzy Dean. They were talking about throwing the ball real fast, and a New York Times sports writer said, why are you bragging about it at the interview after the game? And Dizzy Dean said, it ain't bragging if you can do it, because he can do it. We're going to take a break, come back and talk about these fishing trips with Greg. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Sitting here with Greg Broadnicki, and Greg has some what bad luck, what good luck kind of things happen. Bad luck to get COVID, and good luck to have some time to go fishing. So now you set up, you realize you're going to be quarantined, and I know you like to read and play checkers and all that kind of stuff, but fishing was on your mind.
Well, yeah, you know, when you can get the right weather and the right tides, and we had some really good tides that particular week. It would just stand to reason that you should be able to catch fish, and I was pretty amazed that there weren't more people out there fishing, and but it was really, really good. The water was so clear and clean. The tides were so high. There was a lot of places that you could go that sometimes you could only throw to, but you could get the boat, to get the boat in there. And so
the tide was sort of going out.
it was coming in.
Coming in.
It was coming in, and,
yeah, okay.
and it was it was incoming. And I got out there first light. I mean, I usually go to bed around 9, so I would wake up and I'd drop the boat in the water. It was still dark, and I would just kind of meander out until I could really see well, and then go ahead and skin it back and then get out there. So I was out there early, but I will tell you that throwing my topwaters when it was early and when they can't see as well, I guess, they missed the lure so many times.
They were missing it.
They were I mean, that one time I probably had 10 strikes before I ever hooked a fish, and I'm thinking, am I working it too fast? Am I working it too slow? Are they blind? Is it just, are they just reacting to the sound and the movement?
Good point.
Because they kept missing it. And the more light I got, the more I would hook up. So, every day's different.
That's
every place is different. The same places that Bill and I were getting nothing but redfish, I was catching nothing but trout.
Wow.
On a particular day.
That's interesting.
And then, so you never know.
Okay. What we're going to do, let's go ahead. We're going to try to roll this video, and Greg's going to keep talking about what he's doing. We're not going to, our technology in Studio B is not as good as it is in Studio A. So we're going to try to just roll it. We're going to talk over it. It's from Greg's phone. And listen, I don't know, some of y'all have tried this. He's out by himself. He's catching fish and trying to video it at the same time. That's hard to do. That's real hard to do. So he sent it to us, and Gail, we got to try. We're going to try to roll it now, and if it rolls, fine. If not, we're going to keep talking about it anyway. So yeah, okay. So we're out there, and you'll say we'll talk about going early all the time. Bill and I talk about it all the time. Go early. And you were flat out early there, dark.
Especially when it's real hot.
Yes.
I mean, because you've got the water moving good, and it's going to be just a little bit cooler that early in the morning because it's been dark for several hours. So that if you can catch the water moving and then it's early, it's really an exciting time. Even bass fishing is the same way. I always found that bass fishing, that once it gets a real tall sky and it's real hot, they just get lethargic and go to sleep. The saltwater fish don't seem to be as lethargic to me as freshwater will get. But so I was, throwing my topwater, had a lot of strikes, and it really, I think they were reacting more to the movement of the lure. And sometimes I would throw, and they would miss it, and then I'd come back and throw the Paul Brown, just to see, well, maybe they'll hit this instead. And of course, Bill wasn't with me. He will throw the rubber bait a lot, a soft bait, and is very, very good at it. I'm not patient enough with it, I guess, or whatever. I just hate to. I love to see the topwater strike.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't hit the topwater, and sometimes all they seem to hit is what he's throwing. Well, this particular day, I threw it a few times just to see. Even when they were biting, I wasn't getting any hits on the lure, on the man. So anyway, didn't have my net man there. So I'm sitting there catching fish, and I'm looking, and Bill ain't back there to net the fish.
Where's Bill?
So I got to have the net, so I'm keeping the net close, and then you can't hold the rod, you can't put the trolling motor down. You're moving all these hands trying to do stuff. You give them a little slack, you ain't gonna have nothing to film. So I would periodically, when I'd catch a fish that particular day, I started putting my power pole down. I said, well, if there's one here, maybe there's more. And I was fanning my casts around the area, and twice I had back-to-back fish.
Wow.
So, because I didn't have any help, I was kind of forced to try to do that, and then I would net the fish. And so the only thing that I ever did, if you're looking at the movies now, is just filming it after I had it in the net.
Yeah.
I don't have any films of the ones I missed.
Yeah.
I don't have any film of the ones that just before I got them up to the boat, they pulled off, So.
But I think on one of those trips, I think you got like 10 or something.
I did. I had 10, and I had at least 20 legitimate strikes and partial hookups.
Yeah.
That day, I only had a few little small trout. The reds were everywhere, and they were just ripping it. And you know, their mouth's on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them to come up to get a topwater lure.
Good point.
Not like a trout. But so you force them to do that. Well, they missed the thing so many times, you know. And
Good point.
And you know, so it's tougher for them. But when you got it working, and you get them aggravated or excited. I had several of them come right up the boat, and as I'm lifting it up, I just see this red rush go by. Wow.
Did you find any particular color was more effective one day or during the day or later on with the sun? How about your color selection? What was your color selection?
Truth, had a lot of sun most of the time I was fishing, and I was throwing a solid white, or I was throwing one that was silver. I think the action is about 80% of the deal, 20% color.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you got somebody else you're fishing with and they're catching and you're not, and they're using a different color than you, psychologically you go, hey, listen, either he knows what he's doing and I don't, or he's got the right or wrong color. I think it's more the action. Once they start hitting, it really didn't make much difference.
That sounds good. Now we're getting a redfish clinic, folks, right here with Mayor Greg Broadnicki. We're going to take our final break and finish up on this. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. First of all, let's get our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 2:55 to 4:55 this morning, and this afternoon 3:17 to 5:17. That's as that tide is starting to get out really, really strong. Now, before we get back into fishing, I went by Cargrave boat ramp yesterday because it's going to be the crown jewel of boat ramps, and they had it, got everything situated and all. The city has just done a tremendous job with this.
We put that in for a BP grant some years ago, and the county awarded us $500,000 toward doing that. Now, every time we tried to get started, something happened. The hurricane, and then after the hurricane, it was a laydown area for the pipe running out to the beach.
Yes.
So there was just, it was appropriated. We finally got it all done, so now we finally got it built. And I appreciate the patience of the public because, you know, we want more access to the water in the bay, especially with all the limits that there are and everything now. So, well, it is done. And so the city had to put another $375.
That came out of y'all's pocket. $375.
Oh yeah, $375. Well, came out of the taxpayers' pockets.
That's true.
Just my proportionate share, because I do live in the city. But then we decided, well, if we're going to do all this and have a premier place to put in boats for everyone, let's get the parking handled. So we spent another $175,000 redoing all that pavement.
Yes.
So we have a nice, legitimate place for people to put in their boats.
Yeah.
That place for many years was way too shallow, and there was no place to stage. It was just kind of there, and then also it got to the point where you could only use it for sea-doos because it was so filled in. Well, that's all been taken care of. We've rerouted the sand and stuff that was coming off of 98 that was filling that in, believe it or not. And so
It is good, and it's going to be that channel going out. It's going to be,
and it's the closest one to the pass, So
who's going to put the first boat in? Y'all designate you?
Well, there was a bunch of them that went over there. We had it open 4th of July.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, we did. So
we need to do an official ceremony. Let you and Bill be the first boat out there.
Well, we need to.
Okay, we need to do that, and we'll be exclusive. Okay, real quick, let's get back to fishing. Talking about color. Bill's back here, and Bill's going to be coming on some next week and all. But I just got Greg today. Bill's talking about a trip y'all had where color made a big difference.
Yes, we were slow trolling over at in St. Joe in the wintertime for trout, and there was nobody out there. We were out there by ourselves, and it was really unique. Well, no, that's a different time. The time he's talking about was when we were casting and throwing a popping cork in St. Joe Bay. Excuse me, I'm getting old. And I was catching just about every cast, and I had on a chartreuse head with a gulp.
Okay.
And 16, 18 inch, and then we were catching keeper trout, just one right after another. Everybody's out there flounder fishing. I don't see anybody catching any flounder. I said, well, let's see if we can catch some trout. And we just had a drift, and we were slaughtering. Well, Bill had on a redhead, 1/4 ounce jig head, and I had a green one on, chartreuse, and he was getting one to my 5, and it's like, you know, he ain't that much better than me, ever. It's not just today. So he clipped the line and put the chartreuse head on, and then it was bing, 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 bing. I mean, I don't know how many trout we caught that day. We probably had 30 or 40
so that made
keepers. Of course, we weren't throwing them all back, but it was amazing. So that particular day had the same color gulp, but a different color head. It was very clear.
Yeah.
You know, the water in St. Joe Bay that time of year is beautiful. And so, but for whatever reason, they weren't hitting that red head.
That's cool. That's good. That made a difference then.
Yeah.
I got about a minute or so left, and I'll wrapping things up and all. We're getting into late summer patterns. What's your thinking about fishing late summer and all as you get going through?
Early and late,
Okay.
watching the tides. You know, I used to think that, okay, you know, you can only go scalloping in late August and early September because it's too hot to fish. Let me tell you, early and late, before you go scalloping a particular day, you want to have a real productive day, go trout fishing and red fishing first, then go scalloping. But when you put your head on the pillow at the end of the night, you will be worn out.
That's a good game plan right there, folks. That really is. And we're going to be doing that pretty soon. Scalloping right around the corner and all. You're looking forward to it?
Absolutely.
And
that is, we love to scallop.
I know
We've
y'all
got a
do.
whole group of us that do that, and we normally go to Steenhatchee every year.
Yeah.
This year we didn't go because different people had too
we
many
don't
time
have enough
conflicts.
time to talk about that story. I tried to tell that story about it was a different situation in Steenhatchee this year.
It is.
And,
Yep.
So we're going to wrap things up. Greg, we always appreciate you coming on. Appreciate what you do as a mayor and as outdoorsman, as just a good man and a father and husband and all. But we appreciate you being part of our Panhandle Outdoors team.
Appreciate you, Winston.
And it works out great. I wish all of our elected political officers would go outdoors like that. Yeah. That'd be a little bit of time off to help them with it.
Well, you're fixing to be one. So
well, we're going to see. We're going to see about that. But we're excited about it. Y'all do something good today with your fellow man, and have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.